and welcome to the On the Hunt podcast, episode 2. My name's Elijah Winfrey. Joining me on the On the Hunt podcast are my co-hosts Nate Rucker and Bobby Bless. Want to say good afternoon to these gentlemen, and I want to open it up with the most important question we're going to ask today. Starting with Nate, how's it going, my friend?
Like I say, a little getting there, a little under the weather, but besides that, man, I'm alive. So thumbs up.
Well, we're certainly glad to hear that. Folks, if you hear it in Nate's voice, he sounds like he should be doing like movie commercials, like one day, one man. But anyway, Bobby, how's it going, my friend?
Man, I'm on top of the world, guys, man. You put in a good day's work, it's easy to just sit at home and just chill. And I'm off tomorrow, so that's always.
I feel like that's going to be a constant thing. Is like Bobby's going to brag about how
Wednesdays and Sundays. I'm off my off days.
So if you want a Bobby Bless autograph, do not show up on a Wednesday. It ain't gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah. They might call and ask me when I'm coming in, though. They'll make a line.
So as far as I'm concerned, I went to a conference this past weekend, so I didn't really get an opportunity to watch the Lions play their second preseason game against the Colts because I was a little busy. But I want to get into that here in just a second, just to kind of prep my two co-hosts here. But we also wanted to say, as a group, thank you to everybody who watched our first episode. That was amazing. We had over 200 views, a whole bunch of comments, a bunch of likes. We appreciate it. And again, I'm going to encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to check out some of my work that isn't necessarily the Lions related, check out the YouTube channel for a bit. I've got some things on there that I've done. And again, I'm very happy, very proud to be a part of this. So let's get into the Lions talk now here. Nate, we'll start with you. Your impressions of preseason game 2 versus the Colts.
I was impressed. I pretty much was confident that we were going to win, that the defense was going to hold its own, especially with the way that the practice went. So that's why I was like, you know what, that joint practice is going to get them used to the contact, get them ready, get their muscles ready so that they're ready for, instead of the 20 collisions during practice, without pads. Now your muscles are ready for the 75 plus impact crashes. So what you've seen was a true dominant effort. The linebackers were a lot better. Toward the end, the deep passes, that just comes with youth and trying out different guys, guys that may not even be on this team that are truly auditioning for another roster, and some that may be auditioning for the XFL or NFL Europe, So you deal with that. But what you really like to see was the first half and see how our 2s and 3s matched with the Colts 2s and 3s. And I loved it.
Bobby, your thoughts on preseason game number 2?
The running backs. It's kind of been a while since we had that many running backs. I mean, whoever got to pick who them running backs going to be got some real work ahead of them. Obviously, you can see Deuce Staley coaching is reflecting through the players, especially them dang on running backs, I swear. They hit the whole timely fashion. If you notice from the last week's podcast, he was stressing to DeAndre Swift regarding staying inside. I actually think that you see that with all the running backs. They listen. And it's good to have a guy that actually accomplished something in this league tell you about your job. You know what I mean? And besides that, Tom Kennedy. How is this man not on this roster every year? Seeing the tweet from Ocho Cinco let you know that this guy is actually opening some eyes. I like him personally. I think his attitude is a work pill attitude that reflects this team. Mm-hmm. And from down to the top guys to the guys barely making the cut, you see their attitude reflects Dan Campbell. And I hope that the guys that don't make the team be able to go to another team, because I think they got the ticker. You know what I mean? This team got heart. Even the guys that are not gonna make the team, and I can't wait to see who is actually going to be on this roster.
Now,
That's pretty
Bobby,
much it, brother.
now, Bobby, as far as Tom Kennedy is concerned, for folks who didn't watch the game, such as myself, I'm looking at the stats right now, folks. Tom Kennedy had 5 catches, 24 yards, and he caught 2 touchdowns. And obviously, last week he, I believe, caught a touchdown as well. Do you
He had
think?
100 yards receiving as well last week.
Yeah, which is hard to do. Which is hard to do. So, Bobby, and I'm going to toss this question to you as well, Nate. But we'll start off with Bobby. Do you think Tom Kennedy makes this roster? Because unlike last season, there is a lot of high-powered receivers that he is competing with for a roster spot. So, I know it's preseason, but for me, I'm always impressed when somebody has success, regardless of whether it's practice, preseason, or a regular season game. But do you think he has done enough to actually earn some playing time in this offense, given all the other receivers that we already have?
I say yes. Although the receiver's been very, very good, I don't think anyone has done enough where you can say that Tom Kennedy doesn't have a spot on this team. I don't know about Quintez Cephas. He's kind of like a wild card with him because being that he's been injured, you can't really tell how much he's been progressed. But with Quintez Cephas, that's always the issue with him is those injuries. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the question comes down to who do you like more, Quintez Cephas or Tom Kennedy? And I like body of work. I like body of work. I don't see that from Quintez Cephas. Not saying he's not talented, but I haven't seen him be the guy that was advertised coming out of Wisconsin with the Lions yet. I'm a Tom Kennedy over Cephas. And Josh Reynolds, Josh, I haven't seen a lot of him. I know him and Jared Goff got a pretty good thing going, so I'm quite interested in that. But I don't see how you justify keeping Quintez Cephas and not keeping Kennedy, though. So That's why I said this is a good dilemma. I like it. Finally, a good dilemma.
Yeah, especially when you have too much talent. That's certainly a good thing. And Josh Reynolds,
great dilemma.
Josh Reynolds seems to be the forgotten guy. Last year when we got him, everybody was like, "Woohoo, we got Josh Reynolds!" And then now, whenever they talk about our wide receiver core, they're putting out fan posters of all of our weapons. He's very rarely on any of those things or talked about. And it's like we were so excited we had him last year, and now this year it's like everybody's like, "Oh, well, he's just okay now." Because we have all these other people. But Nate, going back to Tom Kennedy, do you think he makes this roster?
He's going to make it, but primarily because Jameson Williams is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So that instantly right there is going to open up a free wide receiver spot, which is going to go to Tom Kennedy, I think, without question. Now, when you're talking about if they decide to activate Jameson, then you have that type of talk. Now, the difference between Cephas and Kennedy is the fact that Cephas has actual game experience throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
So even when you look at, the body work, he's been hurt, but he's still, he's a proven wide receiver from Wisconsin, holds, records as a wide receiver over there. What he's shown early, as a Lion with being big body, having good hands, and being a very good route runner. No, he's not a burner a la Tom Kennedy, who reminds me more of a Adam Humphries type guy.
Okay.
A guy who's, going to do his job. He's going to get in and out his route.
And, reliable hands.
He's
reliable hands, too.
Yeah. He's going to make the catch. Adam Humphries, Mike Furry, guys who weren't burners, but they were very dependable.
Yeah.
So that's where you look at, and he has that sneaky speed, a la Cooper Kupp, where people look at, hate to say it, but the proverbial skin color thing, or he's not that fast. And when you go, because he has very good technique as a wide receiver, he's by you, you're playing catch up, and then you're beat.
Yeah.
And he doesn't miss. So that like you said, is a very good problem to have.
Now we do have. Sorry, Nate. Go ahead. Okay. So we do have a lot of topics to get to on today's show. I want to make sure we hit every single one. So we want to recap Hard Knocks episode 2. We want to give a huge shout out here to Nate the Great, because Nate said we're going to see some linebacker room. I don't know what he did, if he broke into the facility and watched the episode before we all had access to it or what. But Nate, you said we wanted to see some linebackers. You saw some linebackers. What did you get out of what we saw? Were you encouraged or discouraged by it?
I was very encouraged. Like I said, the thing why I wanted to see the linebackers was to the fact that, according to PFF, our linebackers were at 40, they were at 40.4, 41.3, and 42 something. And they were the lowest out of every position. And like I said, I wasn't going to take too much away from it, because that was their first time. It was the very first preseason, and it's your very first game hitting someone other than your teammate. So that's why I said, I wasn't too worried about it, but I wanted to see how they were being coached. Was it just because they were out of sync? They wasn't focused? Were they not paying attention to detail? And I really wanted to see how Kelvin Shepherd was coaching them. And what he said was, listen, I've got a rookie. I'm doing everything I can not to put him out here. But he is progressing. He is playing the way he's supposed to. He's playing fast. He's reading. He's reacting, and he's hitting. He's not thinking. And he turned his – and so what that did was it lit a fire, under the linebackers against the Colts. And Derek Barnes played well. Davis played a little bit better as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think Derek Barnes had the highest PFF for the linebackers at 73. 71, he was in between 71 and 73, something like that. So that right there told me that, hey, that first game was what I said, as far as them getting back used to hitting someone in a different color jersey. And so I was impressed.
Just to piggyback off what Nate's saying here, in case you didn't watch the game, I'm looking at the rushing totals for the Colts players. I've got one running back here with 13 yards, and that was the leading running back for that team.
Wow, that's pretty damn good.
Nobody ran the ball for more than 20 yards on for the Colts. Now, throwing the ball, that's a little bit of a different story. They had 3 touchdowns, but we're talking about linebackers here, specifically stopping the run, hitting people, and it seems like that message was well received. Bobby, what did you think of episode 2 of Hard Knocks, my friend?
Yeah, really, I want to jump off kind of what they said. It's amazing that the Lions actually put it out there like the best man is going to have the job. A lot of times with these regimes and whatnot, you see a guy getting more chances than they really deserve. But he put it out there real early. We got guys that have been there. We got new guys. Let them know. Even though this guy is a 6th-round pick, he's going to start. He's the better man. I love that part, because even you get down into these, even on the regular day workforce in these companies, guys that don't deserve the job, just there on seniority, or, as Nate would say, he know this person, that person. Hey, we ain't got to worry about that with the Lions this year. This guy is the better man, and this guy is going to be out here playing. I love that. It lets me know that we headed in the right direction. There's no agendas. We want the best man, and I respect that, honestly. That's the main thing I'm thinking about. And among some other things, more so of Deuce Staling's character. I just love him, man. It's just like, he's a motivator, man. That whole team is motivating everybody. It's like the group of coaches is like you couldn't pick any better to be cohesive as they are, it's turning into a real family thing, man. And they competitive too. They're not soft with it. It's not like kumbaya, but it's like, hey, everybody beat their chest, even the backups beating their chest because they believe in what the man talking about, and it just shows through their actions on and off the field. Honestly,
Agreed. I haven't heard about anything off the field,
right?
Like not a. So that's just a detriment to that as well. So big ups to Dan Campbell and the coaching staff.
Yeah, one thing I was kind of surprised about, and I know we don't have a ton of time to sit to really think about this or talk about this, but one thing I was surprised about, there was a lot of people, especially in Detroit media, because I listen to a lot of those stations, obviously being a Lions fan, even though I'm in New York, I like to listen to the Detroit stations, who were kind of harping on Deuce Staley about the way that he was getting on DeAndre Swift. Now, I personally don't have an issue with the way that Deuce Staley was getting onto him because of what Bobby said earlier. This is not some guy who studied analytics and is telling
right.
DeAndre Swift how to do his job. This is somebody who used to run people over. Like, if you're in my way, you're going to get out of my way real quick. So for him to tell DeAndre Swift that, I respect it. And I also respect the fact that, DeAndre Swift wasn't present in the conversation that Deuce Staley was having with the coaches, where he said this kid can be great, but you can tell that anything Deuce Staley is saying is out of a place of love for DeAndre Swift.
And the crazy, I think that they don't really, even though they're harping on that, they're missing the biggest point. Mm-hmm. Even though he did correct him when he came to the sideline, offered that touchdown, the first thing Deuce Staley said was, "Now you coach me. Tell me what you seen and tell me why you did it that way."
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So
my God.
So yes, you did score. Without a question. We're not going to diminish that. Mm-hmm. But coach me now. Tell me why that assignment was, again, set up for you to go right through the middle. Why didn't you go through the middle? Mm-hmm. And Swift said, hey, I seen him slid down, and I knew if I hit him with the hezzy, he would be picked up. Plain and simple. And if you look at it, he slowed down. He hit him with the hesitation step. He bit inside. DeAndre Swift went outside. Touchdown.
It was wide open.
Yep. Wide open. So that's also one of the things about the coaches, that they're also coachable and receiving. And, they're letting the players let them know what they seen, regardless of what the play was. Mm-hmm. I agree with, hey, I was going to run it, but this is why I bounced it out instead of going straight through.
Right. And like I said, I was just surprised that so many people, were complaining about it, because for me, I'm like, okay, for the last 3 years, people were complaining about how there was no accountability and how nobody was getting on to these players whenever they did make a mistake or have those coachable moments with them because they didn't want to hurt feelings. Well, Deuce Staley's like, okay, I'm going to do that with you based on my own experience of having many years of success in the NFL. Now everybody's like, well, you're being mean to DeAndre Swift. I don't know how that's being mean, but okay. I will say, though, I think it will be interesting to watch how DeAndre Swift takes that coaching throughout the entire season, because now this is year 2 that him and DeAndre have been working together. So, we'll see what happens. DeAndre Swift kind of seems like one of those guys that's kind of quiet, just in general. So, I think with a more talkative player, maybe we could have got a better read on how he felt about it, but he just looks like he's kind of quiet. He's going to do what the coach asked him to do. So we'll see what happens there.
Right. That was the main importance why Deuce Staley didn't harp on. He took him out and said, hit the hole. He put Jamal in.
Yeah.
Literally the very next day. The very next play, even though Jamal had a very good run, he put Jamal right back out, put Swift right back in, because he wanted him to let him know, like, listen, just because I'm telling you something or coaching you a certain way
don't mean I don't believe in you.
Don't mean I do. It doesn't mean, hey, you're doing something wrong. I'm just saying, listen, for us, you can't keep, and he also told him that on the screen. He said, man, why are you letting this DB off the hook? Why are you being easy just running out of bounds? You put a stiff arm in him, you might score. You lower your head, you might run him over, you might score.
Right.
So don't just take your foot off the gas and say, "Oh, okay, I got 5 yards. I'm gonna run out of bounds."
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said. It's just a mindset, and he's trying to pull the dog out of him because he sees the talent.
Right.
One of the things about coaching is you have to be able to coach different people different ways.
Yep. Yeah, and that's something we talked about last week was, when Dan Campbell's up there addressing the entire team, he's obviously thinking about what he's saying, but he's also thinking about every single one of these guys is motivated in several different ways. And I have to figure out what buttons I can press and how far I can push certain guys to get what this team needs us to get without breaking these players or, making it to where they question themselves in those moments where they have to trust each other and trust their own abilities. And one way to do that, I mean, it's kind of unconventional, is to have the players lead practice. So Bobby's got more information for you as far as what happened with this. So Bobby, what happened? I mean, players are running practices now in Detroit?
Hey, it just shows the belief in what you got. You believe that you done taught enough where they can teach themselves. There's a saying that if you know it, you can teach it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with what they say, that the patients run the insane house. I forgot what they tell you, but the crazy house, but whatever. But I just feel like the best coaches let the players play. It's a, don't get me wrong, it's a rarity in the NFL because we, believe it or not, we got the smartest guy in the room syndrome for most of these goddamn dumb coaches.
Right.
But I'm thinking of, even though it's not football, Greg Popovich. There's been times where he put the clipboard down, had the Tim Duncan, walk away, let you do it, let him do it. Or even it comes down to Phil Jackson. Maybe that's more so in the game where he'll just let the team on a 15-0 run, let them figure out. I'm not gonna call timeout. That's just the ultimate belief in your players. Lets them know, hey, he believe in me, and I know I'm gonna do the right things to get it done. And it also means you don't got a bunch of clowns on your team. Mm-hmm. You got guys that's gonna take this opportunity serious, even though the coaches ain't telling you what to do. It's nothing like one of your coworkers, even though the coaches, they're all on the same mission, but the coach is not on the same level as the player. But if you got a player amongst you up here telling you what to do, you more likely to take heed to it because you already know we all here for the same thing. We got the same training. Let's go do it right. Let's show them that we can. Like they're trying to, I don't say impress the coach, but they're trying to show the coach, hey man, what you telling us, we like it. We want to do this. We're gonna make sure, and that sets believe it or not, that sets a tone amongst the whole team, even down to the water boy. Hey, I gotta do this serious. Or even with the people like Mr. Brad Holmes picking the players. Hey, man, I'm not gonna be the one. I'm gonna do what I have to do to make sure. You know what I mean? No days off. That's what I see, man. I love it, man, because we don't got a bunch of clowns and we ain't got a bunch of people that don't like each other, where they clicked up, where this group don't like this group. Hey, y'all can come together and get it right.
And one thing I want to piggyback, I actually want to call back to our first episode, Bobby, because you said something that I thought was great in the first episode, which is that when you have a team like we do, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. And I don't think we're going to see it in tonight's episode of Hard Knocks, because I think this player-led practice happened after they had already edited tonight's episode.
Yeah, that's probably going to be next week.
But I can almost guarantee you, fellas, somebody who was sticking out like a sore thumb is going to get cut. And the reason why they're going to get cut is because of what they did in the player-led practice. Mark my words. I hope I'm wrong. But I have also coached before, and I know people act foolish whenever coaches, got his back turned. So I guarantee you, I can almost see it now. Someone's going to be said, get your playbook, come to my office, and it's going to be a situation where they're going to pull up footage of what they were doing, lollygag, taking too many water breaks, and they're going to say, well, guess what? You don't make the team now because we had our back turned and we couldn't trust you. We have to be able to trust you in the game.
And you know what you of, you remember the Titans?
Yep.
When Bertier went and got his boy, when it got his butts cut,
Mm-hmm.
and he went to Coach Boone. He say, I want him off the team, coach.
Yep.
He say, well, you're my captain. You know my rule.
Mm-hmm.
Said, okay. And
Yep,
he let
yep.
play. You brought it to my attention. You said, because I'm not in between the lines with you. So if you're on the field and you're seeing a difference from the way he plays, depending on who's behind or who's, who he's supposed to be blocking for,
Yep.
then
I
okay,
remember he
then
was
there it
missing the
is.
block on purpose, man. He had to go. He was,
Yeah. And what happened was, Willie Lasky, he called. He had called off Omaha,
Yeah.
which was line shift, meaning block the edge, mean double team that edge or chip that edge. And Butt said, I didn't hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Coach, I called Omaha. I called the audible. And that's when Rev heard Chris. So the coach wasn't out there. He couldn't say if he audible or not.
Yeah.
But because of Bertier's relationship with Butts, and he knew how he felt about playing with the black players, he knew he did it.
He had to go. I remember that.
So I mean, if that happens, then that truly shows the growth of the team. That shows that the message is being met, is being taken in, and they're taking it serious.
So we got just about 7 minutes left here. We're gonna move on to.
Dang, already?
I know it's time flies when you're having fun, fellas. So we
Man.
got two segments.
Look, you got to stay to that time, man.
Dang.
we got two segments. We got two segments that we're going to be introducing for future episodes that we'll spend more time on. But Bobby, take 2 minutes here and run us through what we hope to be a segment on every show, which is the merchandise you have collected, my friend. 2 minutes. What do you got there?
Well, brother, this, believe it or not, is the last Detroit Lions team that won a playoff game. They beat Dallas, if you not remember, lost to Washington the next week. And I've had this since then. And to be, I don't know if you guys heard of Value City back in the day, merchandising store. I remember I got these at Value City. Like they might have been like $8 or something. My mom used to always get sports cards because I collect sports cards also. But this is the team that turned me into a Lions fan, to be honest with you, man. And just hearing like Rodney Peete, because I remember playing him on Tecmo Bowl and whatnot. It's just these cards, of course, it's not expensive. They're not very valuable. It's the Detroit Lions, but it's valuable to us Lions fans.
Oh, for sure.
And I think they have a little value to them.
Yeah, you think so?
They do.
Yeah, I've never opened these. It's never been opened.
Right. When I tell you, you maybe get $20-$30 a card.
Yeah, from a Lions fan probably.
No, I mean,
think so?
Yeah, because this is the thing. When you're talking about cards, man, you're talking, especially if it's never been open.
Never been open, brother.
They want to look at the corners. If the corners aren't creased.
Oh, yeah.
Things of that nature. And then you look at, like I say, that's from the 90s. This is 2022.
Yeah, you get that butt whoop about these cards, man.
Right. So
Mama be very whoop my butt. She took it seriously.
So anybody that made any type of Pro Bowl or anything of that nature, like you said, Jerry Ball and stuff like that.
Lomas Brown.
Oh, absolutely.
Robert Clark, all that. Oh, go ahead, brother.
Oh, no, you're good, man. You're good. Hey, those cards are PE, pre-Elijah, because I was born in 93. So,
man.
So those cards have like got facial hair. Like, I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
We have 5 minutes left here, guys. Nate, we don't have a ton of time to go into everything that you and I wanted to talk about with the game day experience, but kind of tease folks, what can they expect in that game day feature that's going to be valuable to them?
Well, first thing we're going to do, man, it's going to be from what I'm hearing, I guess the tailgate is going to be back open.
Okay.
So you're going to get, and one of the things that we did, in our group was, when we tailgate, I would go live and you would see the interaction of the people, the Lions fans. You got to see different type of cuisine. You guys have seen where we were making alligator and whole hogs one day.
Yeah.
So so you're going to see that, man. You're going to see jerk chicken. You're going to see all different types of cuisine. You're going to see all different types of people. And then there's also going to be, like I say, depending on who we play, there's a mix and mingle with the opposing team. So you see, the camaraderie where, yeah, people may be going for different teams, but it's the importance of sports of bringing people together in general.
Mm-hmm.
Where in sports, the color don't matter.
Yeah.
Your rather Republican, Democrat, who you voted for, none of that matters.
Right.
It's truly just about enjoying the game.
About that logo. It's about the team.
Go get the way, man on man combat, and having a drink with a guy, smoking a cigar with a guy. Y'all may be cheering for a different team, but you get that. Then also, you're going to get features on different what you're going to need as far as currency wise. A lot of people I don't think understand how much money you need when you're talking about parking, when you're talking about the concierge, when you're looking at the souvenirs, when you're looking at how much is it for a hot dog and a beer, what type of restaurants that you have in there, the entrances to find your seats.
Mm-hmm.
All these type of things are very important, especially when you're talking about game day, and especially for the people who've never been there.
Yep.
You could try fly by night, but it's always best to have a handbook. And hey, if you don't have a handbook, the best thing you could do is rewatch our podcast.
Hey, there you go.
Feel that, brother.
See, that's
Get
called
an extra
marketing.
view on there.
Don't know. That's called marketing. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's gonna be a great segment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I say, because you don't want people to go into it blind.
Mm-hmm.
You want them to, at least have. Oh, I hate to use that. You don't want them going into a situation ignorant and not knowing what is what, because hey, regardless, everybody's not stand up, and you never know who's still
trying to get over.
Who's trying to get over, who's trying to hustle you, oh yeah, here go a parking pass and blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pay for a parking pass and it ain't even that.
Remember Martin Whitney Hutton shirt.
Yeah.
So again, that's something that we're going to be discussing in our game day experience segment, and obviously, we got a little sneak peek there of some of Bobby's merch. He's got a whole lot more, folks. So what I'm hoping you will do is I'm hoping you will support this episode like you did last week. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you got topics that we didn't discuss that you want to hear about. And I promise you, next week, we're going to put some emphasis on the game day experience and the merchandise. But we wanted to kind of show you a little bit, just a tease of what is to come. So you're going to want to hang around, because many other podcasts just give you the stats from the game, which you can find by yourself. Or they give you, here's my thoughts, here's the play I would have called. And it's like, okay, that's great, but you're not paid to do that. Our podcast is going to be valuable to you as a Lions fan. So we hope that you will like, comment, subscribe.
To the people.
And get ready, because you're going to get some information that's going to make your life a lot easier. Nate, I want to thank you. Bobby, I want to thank you. Folks, this is the On the Hunt podcast.
See you next week, brothers.
Next week, y'all. Holla.
See you next week.